Crimea. Okay. Okay, so it's going. All right, so this is reflection number 2. What is our guiding question / research? What are the most valuable guiding questions? What kind of surprises do we encounter in our research? And what resources are most valuable? These are the questions that we're going to go over in this video. So, what are the most valuable guiding questions? Some of the valuable guiding questions that we found are: what can we find out about terrorist groups who try their hardest to be as secretive as possible? Also, how can we see the effects of these terrorists through the eyes of Africans who do not necessarily have the same cultural antipathy for terrorists? Do Africans ignore the terrorists in some cases, or in others do they ally themselves with al-Qaeda-related groups? Or do these Africans share the same antipathy for terrorists as most Americans? What effect does corruption in the government have on fighting terrorism in individual African nations, and how does that imply U.S. aid funds are being used to promote democracy and fight terrorism effectively or ineffectively? Also, is promoting democracy the cure to terrorism as the U.S. government believes, or does it just harbor terrorism? Next, we also looked at what kind of surprises do we encounter in our research. So some surprises that we encountered were that it's one thing that I encountered in my research specifically was that it's actually possible that promoting democracy only helps terrorism rather than destroys it. It's possible that dictatorships are actually more effective at fighting terrorism in some countries than having a democracy would. It's also possible that in cases like Kenya, anti-terrorism efforts are stunted by things like international prosecution of political leaders for whatever crimes against humanity, stuff like that. Like, for example, President Kenyatta of Kenya is currently being prosecuted by the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity back in 2008 after violence after the 2008 elections in Kenya. So yeah, so those are some of the surprises that we've encountered, and some of the resources that we really like to use in that we've been using, especially is Google Scholar, where we've been able to find a lot of really good scholarly articles by good sources, PhDs, people like that.
Also the
and
databases.
Also,
Grapevine.
Exactly, like EBSCO, and and we've been using Google Drive to post this all online, and we'll be using YouTube to link this into our website. So yeah, so that about wraps up reflection number 2. So join us next week for more about African counterterrorism.